Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to another video on Starseed Academy. My name is Jenny. So today I want to talk about expert level Earth. Now, what does that mean? Well, today we're going to talk about how Earth is actually an expert level, not a beginning level for a soul. So if you want to think about it like a video game, you know how in a video game you beat a bunch of levels and then you fight the boss, right? So right now we're in like boss level territory. So I'm going to explain what all of this means and how it affects you and the way that you perceive dimensions. In this video, we're going to dive right into it. But before we do, I want to ask you all please to click like on this video. Make sure that you are subscribed with your notifications turned on because you're going to get new videos here every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday. And I'm just so happy and thrilled with how much this community is growing. Thank you so much to all of my subscribers who show up for these videos every time. And of course, feel free to share this video if you would like to. So let's dive in. So most people have a belief that as you complete lifetimes, you are growing and ascending, which means that you will go into a lifetime in a higher dimension. So let's use Earth as an example. So if you transcend the third dimension and have a very successful lifetime, then you're gonna have a lifetime next in fifth dimension? Because we know 4D is not really a dimension where you have an incarnation. We've talked about that in the 4D video, how it's a transitional place, kind of like an airport. But anyway, so if you did like a 3D lifetime, then what? You would then go up to 5, 6, 7, and would you go in a row all the way up? Because people think that as you're growing, you're going upwards. But I'm here to tell you, or ask you to consider, what if it's the other way around? Okay, so if we all come from source, and we know that we all do, we are all from the origination of source, we are all these eternal souls, all of us brothers and sisters of light, all coming from this same place, from source. We are source light. If we come from source, then the next dimension down would be like angelic dimensions, kind of like a heavenly dimension, right? So in an angelic dimension, you would still have lessons, you would still have some polarity and some lessons, but they would be like a lot more gentle, right? They wouldn't have the extreme ups and downs of Earth or the density of Earth. They would be quite gentle. And you wouldn't be that far removed from where you came from. So you would be separate in an incarnation, because even angels are in incarnations. They are still in an incarnation, which means a lifetime. Maybe they don't have physical incarnation with a physical body, but they do have some kind of body, like a light body. There's a beginning and an end to that experience as that character that they're playing. They are separate from source in a way through this incarnation to have an experience and to learn lessons. Same as what we're doing, just in this higher, lighter, gentler dimension. So here's what I think. So if souls come from source and then they move into a gentle lesson of an angelic dimension, like up in the 12th dimension, right? Then maybe in the next lifetime, they come down into like 10th dimension, maybe around like, maybe they're a Mantis Being in like a 9th or 10th dimension and they have a lifetime there. And then they're having more intense lessons. It's a much more physical lifetime. It's got more polarity, more things to learn from, more things to work with. And then beyond that, maybe they're coming down into 7th dimension, some kind of like Andromedan dimension or something in that area. Or maybe they're in like 5th or 6th dimension somewhere, like Avalon, Pleiades, somewhere like that. As you're coming down, your lessons get more and more intense. So here we are on Earth in the 3rd dimension with these incredibly dense, difficult, master level, expert level lessons. And I can just say, like when I'm doing readings for you guys, You all have lifetimes in these in-between dimensions. It's not like, okay, source, straight to earth, angelic, straight to earth. That's not true. I've met like a rare soul who has just angelic experiences and then they're on earth. However, that soul, it's to their detriment in a way because they don't have all of that knowledge and wisdom and experience to back up earth, so they would really struggle on earth, right? But most of us are hitting all of the in-betweens before we come here. Most specifically, if you watched my Pleiadian doctors and scientists video, you will learn about the program that they have specifically in place to help souls prepare for earth. Now, why would they be chosen in Pleiades? Why would that be a great place? Because if Earth is like third and Pleiades is like fifth, sixth, it's not that far apart. It's the perfect place to prepare a soul for the next level down. So I think we are always dropping down into more difficult and difficult and difficult lessons. Think about that. Earth is shadow work for the soul. Diving deep into density solidifies the lesson in your soul that's needed. So it makes that lesson more solid, more real, more dense, more intense. And in breaking through those very dense lessons, you're essentially breaking through to a new level of self, a new level of soul growth. The ego here on earth that we experience, it's part of the human brain construct. The ego amplifies everything that's still going on within your soul that needs healing. It gives your shadows life, right? So earth is about shadow work for the soul on this deep level, and the ego is a huge, huge part of that. It's this human construct that is specifically built to keep people small, to keep them boxed in by their own limiting beliefs, because it gives those limiting beliefs a voice, like a real voice, to argue with you, to dissuade you, to talk you into things and mess with your head. That's powerful. That's powerful lessons. Shadows coming to life in this way for you to face head on. So healing and integrating your ego aspect, the voice in your head, the negative narrator, the judger, integrating that back into a space of self-love. Because we don't want to cut out the ego. It's not about removing the ego, right? We need that. It's a part of the experience. It's a part of the human. It's meant to be there. There's a reason for it. What we need to do, or what we can choose to do, is to love the ego. If you love it back into a state of healing, oneness, and wholeness, it integrates back into you. And when you get to that level, it is like breaking through to a new level of self-understanding, self-love, and mastering your lessons within, mastering your stuff, and just expansion and ascension. So Earth then would be for souls that are ready to dive deep into the energies that are on repeat in their soul. So if a past life has these themes continually showing up, then coming to Earth would be like diving deep into the shadows of those lessons, right? So you would be like diving deep into your shadows, giving your shadows life, facing your shadows head on, and dealing with them with no layers in between. It's like going for it. It's like coming right to them or bringing them right to you. Does that make sense? It's such an intense form of self-work. And it is definitely this boss master level of healing and integration that we're doing. So if you had a recurring theme appearing in lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, then you would choose to do something like an earth expert level, to really dive in there and figure this out. Like, I'm sick of this. I'm ready to finally face this, right? And then just imagine afterwards the level of expansion that you would experience, then taking that badass soul and going back into a higher realm. Like, you would be unstoppable. Unstoppable. We have the opportunity here on Earth now to gain a deep, deep understanding of who we truly are, what's really going on inside of us. And our egos are the limiting beliefs and the issues brought to life. Your triggers, I mean, they're like food for the ego, right? Like, it just loves to be triggered because it loves to go on and on and on and go into defense mode. Listen to your ego. Listen to your narrative, your inner narrative, your running thoughts. There are major clues in there for you about what shadows have come to life and been personified for you to then heal and deal with. And this is like lifetimes worth of healing. Because if you had this repeating theme that you wanted to clear up, like maybe you're always experiencing in your lifetimes lack, some kind of lack, a lack of love, lack of abundance, lack of health, like lack in some way, then you're finally so sick of it, you're just ready to face it head on, and you come here to Earth and all your ego talks about is how there's not enough. You got to be careful. We need to all compete for the same things. There's only a little bit. Make sure you get yours. You know, get into competition mode and do like, oh, nuts, right? But that's just one theme. So what is your ego bringing to life? What shadows are coming to life in your thoughts? And what can you do to heal that? The way to heal it really is, the first step is awareness. Become aware of it. You know, I love to write things down because it makes them clear for me. But if you're not someone that likes to do that, then speak it out loud. Get it out there. Become very aware of what's going on inside of you. What shadows keep coming to life over and over again? Is it self-worth? You know, you just never feel like enough. You're just always putting yourself down with negative self-talk. So there's something there, though. So what do you think about this idea where a soul's ascension actually goes in this direction, ascension and growth, by deep diving? It's like the roots of the tree again, right? The deeper we are willing to go and root ourselves into our shadows, the higher we're going to rise afterwards. So right now we're in the thick of it. We're in the deep shadow work. We're here on Earth, the shadow realm, basically. The realm of density and polarity and lessons and egos and bringing things to life and facing things head on. How far are you going to go in this lifetime? Because however far you go in this lifetime into your shadows is going to be represented by how far you blossom in your next life, right? And we can enjoy it even in this life, because that shadow work is setting us free now in this moment. But I can just only imagine the intensity of it in a higher realm. That freedom, that empowerment, right? That self-love, that's gold, absolute gold. So I know this is a really new way of looking at dimensions, but we've always known that Earth was for the master souls, that its difficulty level was like 5 stars out of 5. So doesn't that make more sense? And like, what kind of crazy ass soul would come straight from source into this mess and then work their way up through the easier stuff? That's not how we do it. We slowly like downgrade our energy and our density to prepare ourselves. And I've learned this now through your readings, through doing your readings for you. And I've learned this now through that video about the Pleiadian doctors and scientists. And it's all just aligning to make so much sense. And doesn't this remove like a huge layer of judgment for people that we view as being in lower dimensions than us? Like, oh, they're so 3D. Meanwhile, what, you think you're 5D or something, or 2D, like what's below Earth? There's lower dimensions, and you can experience those like dense beings a lot of the time in the astral realms and in the fourth dimension. And like, what are we doing judging them? What if they are on their way even deeper into learning and ascension and soul growth, and they're just so damn brave that they went even one lower, and then they're going to go again, and then they're going to go again. It's a loop. The further down you go, the further up you come. It's not linear. It's not in one direction. There's no judgment now. Like when I would think about these like very dense beings that I would run into in the astral realms, it was like they gave me such a scary, eerie, icky feeling. But now I'm like, whoa. What if here on Earth our ego embodies our shadows and faces us? What if they go so deep that they embody their shadows? Ooh, I just thought of that, right? So in 3D on Earth, our ego brings our shadows to life and kind of attacks us a little bit, or we have to face it. What if the deeper you go, it's not the ego that brings the shadows to life, but your entire being becomes the shadow self that you are? That's so true. And we all have a shadow self, and it's not bad. We have to get past this judgment of light being better than darkness. It's balance. That's the best. It's about balance. And the deeper you're willing to go, the more growth you're going to experience. The bigger the roots are, the bigger the branches are. So these crazy, powerful, brave, wild souls going down, 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 becoming the shadow self, embodying that shadow self. What if they're the real masters? Food for thought. Wow, cannot wait to see the comments on this video. It is going to be so split. People are going to hate this or love this. And that's awesome, because the whole point is just to get us thinking outside the box and talking about this kind of stuff, right? I look forward to some controversial comments, and I love you all for that. I love you all. We all have these different ideas and different experiences that we've been through, and so different perspectives. But I don't know, like I've had run-ins with shadow beings before, and I never thought about it like this. However, I did always know that loving them was the answer. And I know I've talked about that on this channel a lot, that whenever I feel like I'm being psychically attacked or attacked by some kind of crazy, weird, dense being, I turn to it and I show it love. I've learned this now is the most powerful way, and it just ends. It ends. Done. Right? A lot to think about here. A lot to unpack. I feel like there's going to be a part 2, because even I feel unsettled by this new revelation, like slightly, because it's just so different from the way we've been thinking about things. Yet I have this strong sense that it's the truth. Like everything within me is like signaling, yes, this is true, this is true, this is true. Wild. So anyway, please comment down below. If you want to connect with me, check out the link in the description box, because I know that I mention readings a lot. They're magical. They're so detailed. It's crazy. You can sign up to be a client, or you can also sign up to just have like a one-on-one session with me. If you've got like a ton of questions and you want to just sit together on Zoom, there's lots of options for that. So check out the link. You can get on my website and swipe across a few screens, and you'll see all the services right there. And I also am starting up a new email list, because I'm going to start writing newsletters soon, because I love to write. You know that I do. So if you want to join in on that and get those on a regular basis coming soon, then make sure that you sign up for the email list, also through the same link below. Okay, so thank you so much for being here, and can't wait to read your comments and see what you think. But before I go, I want to remind you to listen to your heart. Listen to your heart and the quiet voice within, because you are so much more in the body you are in. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.